Hello, comrades, and welcome back to Ushanka Show, stories about life in the Soviet Union. Здравствуйте, дорогие товарищи! В эфире программа Ushanka Show. Истории про жизнь в Советском Союзе. So today I want to share with you guys something that I just learned about my father and his life hacks from the Soviet days. I found it hilarious. In Soviet Russia, life hacks you. But before we begin, I would like to personally thank you, my YouTube channel members, Office Farmer, Edison Bittercard, Pagnatius Badger, Vladan Losevich, and Michael Biddy. Thank you for becoming members of Ushanka Show. Your support is appreciated. One of the ways you can support my work is by joining Ushanka Show and become a member. It's like a subscription service directly on YouTube. You can click on the button Join. If you follow my channel, you should know that my father, Nikolai Trofimovich, he was born in 1946 in Zhytomyr region, and he worked all his life as a spray painter, maler. So he was spray painting mostly airplanes and then later just other random equipment, including military Ural trucks. So speaking of painting airplanes, from the late 60s to early 80s, he worked at the Antonov aircraft factory in Kiev, Soviet Ukraine, and that's the famous factory that produced the largest airplanes in the world, AN-224 Mriya, AN-124 Ruslan, and just regular passenger and military cargo planes. All they called Antonov AN, and most of them were turboprops. And what Antonov is, kind of his signature design is wings attached on the top of the airplane body. So that's every Antonov airplane has that kind of configuration. And if we talk about Antonov airplanes, we must mention AN-2 Kukuruznik. That's the same nickname that Nikita Khrushchev got, Kukuruznik, the corn man. In this case, it's a corn airplane because they used a lot for crop spraying, including spraying the corn. And unfortunately, my dad got that job at Antonov factory after they discontinued manufacturing AN-2 airplanes. Kukuruznik. Kukuruznik. So kukuruza is the Russian word for corn. So kukuruznik will be like corn man or corn airplane. So whatever relates to corn, it's kukuruznik. Some time ago, I made a video called Peculiar Behaviors of the Soviet Workers, where I talked about pretty much how the average Soviet worker substitute his meager income by stealing stuff from places of work. We don't call it stealing, we call it carrying out. And I introduced you to the Soviet word nisun. Nisun, that's the person that carries items out of the places of work. So today we're going to talk about how my father utilized the products that he had access to at a Antonov factory. First of all, I must mention that for the average worker who didn't have access to like vehicles, the only way to carry out items from the factory floor would be over the fence. So you have some kind of way of or tossing stuff over the fence or have a specific little hole that you push stuff through. And that was reflected a lot in our cartoons making fun of Nisuni, is that people, you know, different ways they go on over the fence or through the fence and carry stuff out. And the other option will be to carry items right through the Prochodnaya. So Prochodnaya, that's the access point, and usually there will be Vakhter, a person who will be watching people coming in and coming out, and one of his job will be to make sure that people don't carry stuff out. So that's, of course, now you're talking about different ways you can hide items, you know, and once again, there's a lot of cartoons making fun of people, you know, pretending, oh, that's my dog, when they take the pig out of the meat factory or other fun things. So there's two options, over the fence or right through the access through Prochodnaya. And before I tell you about my father's life hack when he was doing his Nisun activities, I need to explain another thing about Soviet life, about Soviet work, that according to the law, if people worked in places where it was bad for your health, like being a spray painter, of course it's not good for you. coal miner, whatever jobs that not healthy, by the law, people were getting free milk. So during the lunch, they could get a packet of milk free of charge, like half a liter of milk. And we even had this expression, sometimes, you just work hard somewhere, doesn't matter where, you can complain and say, man, for this job, I should get free milk. And it's kind of like, yeah, I work really hard and I should get free milk. So that was a kind of expression to tell you that you're working way too hard and you should compensate better, at least to get free milk. So as you may guess, my father's job, spray painter, was considered вредное для здоровья, bad for your health. And he was getting, and his co-workers were getting free milk every day. And milk came in this funny triangular packets. I already had a video about it too. So that's what during the lunch, they will, buy food, buy their lunch, and then they'll get a free packet of milk as a compensation for damage to their health. So that was that Nisun life hack that my father and his co-workers utilized. They will drink the milk, then they carefully wash those packets, then they fill them with paint that they want to carry out the plant. Then they just will be walking right through the prochodnaya, through the access control, and avoiska, so it's visible. Look, I'm carrying milk home because that's what I got at the cafeteria, while inside will be paint. So my dad was using quite a ballsy life hack for stealing paint from the aircraft factory. Another interesting life hack I learned from my father, he told my brother and brother told me, the ladies that worked at the aircraft factory, they utilized sanding paper, but it wasn't a sanding paper, it was actually like a part of the large sanding belt. And the base of that sanding belt was actually high quality cotton fabric. So what the ladies would do, they will cut strips of that sanding belt and lay them in the showers. So while they're taking a shower after they're done with work, they'll use sanding paper to, make their feet soft. So they will sand off all the hard skin, and after the sandpaper will get, it's getting wet all the time and people be scrubbing their feet on it. So eventually the sanding surface will disappear and the cotton fabric itself was such a good quality and so soft that they will smuggle it out of the factory and sew pillowcases with it. I found it really interesting. And if you follow my channel, you probably remember just recently I made quite a few videos about doing laundry in the Soviet Union. And I had some questions to my parents because I kind of remembered us carrying our laundry and like sheets and blankets to laundromat kind of thing. So I was asking my brother to find out with my dad, since my mom lives out in the village right now and she can't answer my questions. And my dad confirmed, yes, we took most of our large items to, and it was called himchistka. So technically it's like dry cleaners, but it was doing both. It was doing laundry and was doing dry cleaning. Himchistka. Himchistka. It's a short abbreviation for химическая чистка, chemical cleaning, dry cleaners. So my father was spending about 4 rubles per month doing dry cleaning of his pants, and then he had to pay additional 50 kopecks. So before the dry cleaning would happen, lady will snip off his buttons from his pants and then will resew them back in. And then while talking to his buddies at the aircraft factory, back then it was forums during the smoke breaks, people outside would be talking and sharing different life hacks. And they told him, like, Nikolai, you're so stupid. You're wasting so much money on the dry cleaners. We can do same stuff for free here at the factory. Okay, I need to make a correction. So my dad realized that he's not wasting money, that he's giving away a bottle of vodka plus some snacks by paying 4 rubles 50 kopecks. So that was his mentality. That's how he told the story to my brother. So he's like, man, I'm giving away a bottle of vodka, which I could utilize myself. And so this is the life hack, how to clean pants at the aircraft factory. So that's what he told my brother. So he would bring his dirty pants to work. Then he would soak them in acetone mixed with paint thinner. And I'm not sure exactly how that thing worked, but if you just do pure acetone, your pants can catch fire. That's what he said. So you need to add some paint thinner to dilute. So you put your pants in there, kind of soak them up. Then you dry them. After drying, then you wash by hand using, they call it children's soap, детское мыло, to get rid of the smell and make them soft. So by doing that, he will save himself a bottle of vodka and utilize the product he could get for free at the factory. So acetone, paint thinner, and the детское мыло, children's soap. Dry cleaning done, life hack, Soviet way. And in my family, my mother was running the budget. So my dad will bring paluchka, his salary, and give it to my mom. So my guess that he would claim that he needs 4 rubles for dry cleaning his pants and takes the money out of the family budget, dry clean pants at work, life hacking it, and then using those 4 rubles to buy vodka and hang out with his buddies, celebrate life. And while we're on the topic of the Soviet life hacks, I want to share another story. This one is really weird, and it relates to these interesting looking shoes. This is Adidas, I guess you call it country skiing shoe. So that's the shoe that you attach to your skis when you do country skiing or cross-country skiing. If you're interested in life in the Soviet Union and generally in Soviet people lifestyle, you probably know by now that Adidas, as I would say it, brand was like crazy cool, crazy popular in the Soviet Union, but unfortunately it was literally impossible to get hold of any items made by Adidas, unless if you have like a friend who in sports and travels to other countries, they could get some Adidas shoes, but otherwise it was really impossible to get real Adidas like sneakers or running shoes or sport pants or whatever. So Soviet government decided to create a joint venture with Adidas and began manufacturing shoes in the USSR. But the beauty of the central planning, for some reason they decided it's more important to make shoes for cross-country skiing, Adidas brand, instead of just normal shoes. And Kiev had a shoe factory back in those days, so they began manufacturing these silly looking shoes. And if you're familiar with the country skiing, this shoe is the whole idea, the whole outsole is like hard as a rock. It's not flexing at all. The only part is flexing is that the nose is sticking out like the beak. What is that weird animal lives in Australia? Utkanos, we say in Russian. It's an animal but has a duck beak. So that's the only part is flexible in that shoe. So walking in those shoes are literally like super not comfortable. But a lot of young Soviet people were so desperate to have cool shoes that they would purchase these country skiing Adidas shoes. They will trim off that silly nose and they use them as a regular street shoes. But you could tell when they walk, because they would be walking extremely awkward. Similar like, if you go skiing, you see how people walk when they have those huge boots for downhill skiing or for snowboarding, these big awkward shoes. So pretty much when you wear these Adidas country skiing shoes, even without the nose, this is how you walk because they're so stiff and hard. And you could always tell like, hey, look at that silly guy. He's wearing the country skiing shoes, modified, life hacked for the street shoes. Well, my friends, it's all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed this story about these curious Soviet life hacks. And we'll talk to you soon. До свидания. Goodbye. Hey, by the way, cool merch for cool comrades is available at the Ushanka store at teespring.com. Just a friendly reminder that my book American Diaries is available on amazon.com, or shoot me an email if you would like to have a signed copy. Thank you. And if you love my channel and would like to show your support, please click on the link below this video and become the patron of the Ushanka Show. For as little as $1, you can help us grow and create the new, interesting videos about the life in Soviet Union.